A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, the Euphona Prime was one of the best secondary weapons in Warframe. It packed a punch! It had two very interesting fire modes, and then 2020 happened. Hey guys, welcome back. As always, my name is Leyzar, and today we're going to be diving deeper into this Mastery Rank 14 secondary weapon, the Euphona Prime. As per the usual, I have a cheap build, something affordable that most Tenno should be able to build, but then we're gonna bump up everything with Prime mods, and then finally finish it off with a Riven and some Warframe buffs. So we're gonna go step by step in terms of power. That said though, please keep in mind that my builds and guides usually take a new player friendly approach. I like to take my time and explain whatever I feel is necessary for newer Tenno. So in case you're a vet and you already know most of this stuff, you can either skip ahead or have a bit of patience. And with that out of the way, let's jump into the Euphona Prime. Let's begin by checking out how the weapon handles without any mods equipped. And for that, just a couple of free shots. The Euphona Prime is a semi-automatic secondary weapon with two fire modes. In primary fire mode, this one fires a metal slug. In actuality, that's how the fire mode is called, metal slug. Now this metal slug is to be treated more like a bow. If you fire a bow, you got some travel time, and you also got a slight drop off as well. And that's pretty much how you should treat this one. The drop off, however, is ever so slight, so don't worry about it too much. That's primary fire mode. In secondary fire mode, this one is a full-fledged shotgun with a spread. With a pretty horrible spread. I mean, you need to be like 2 meters away from your target. Let's see something. This is free. This is 2 meters. To make sure you're gonna make good contact with your enemy. So bear that one in mind. It's not horrible, but it's meant to be used up close and personal. You only got 5 shots in a magazine and a total ammunition of 45. Now let's have a closer look at stats to see exactly what we're dealing with. Mod capacity 60 out of 60, and if your comes with only 30 out of 30, jump into actions, plug in that auto king catalyst, double that mod capacity. Is it worth it? I'm gonna say yes, definitely for the Euphona Prime, because this one really does pack a serious punch. For a secondary weapon, that is. My weapon has been formatted a total of 5 times, but for the weapon build I'm recommending you can get away with something like 2 or 3 depending on if you have a Riven and if you have Prime mods or not. The weapon Plexilus or Exilus slot is a new addition from the last time we reviewed the Euphona Prime, and you do have a couple of options. For example, perhaps you don't like the recoil. She does kick a little bit. Let's review with steady hands on. Yeah, that's definitely a whole lot better when it comes to normal gameplay. Keep in mind that the Euphona does have that animation, that flip like cowboy pistolero animation thing, so it does help with that one. From my point of view, considering the base fire rate on the Euphona, you don't really need this one. Instead, what I would do, lethal momentum. This will make it easier to aim, and leading your targets is also easy with this one. Because again, in primary fire mode or slug, this one, you do have a bit of travel time. So bear that one in mind. Now let's talk about stats. Accuracy 100. Believe it or not, Magnum Force on this one is not particularly horrible. Never mind about the Buckshot. I mean, you need to be close anyway. What does it matter? Go for full multi-shot and test yourself like so. Same 50-meter test as per usual. That's basically my feelings on it. I'm not entirely sure, so it's gonna come down to you. Again, the Buckshot be within 2 meters of your target. It's just the fuck. It just sprays the entire bloody screen, man. Yeah, 2 meters or even closer, if at all possible. Consider Magnum Force. I'm gonna leave you with that one. I consider it, I think it's a worthwhile addition, especially considering that the Slug didn't react as horrible as I thought to it. In primary fire mode, you got good critical stats. 30% base with a 2.5x critical multiplier. Mwah! That's beautiful, especially considering that for secondary weapons, we have prime critical mods, unlike primary weapons, so you can go with prime pistol gambit. Also, hydraulic crosshairs. Fun fact, if you go like so, you go to 86%, right? But hydraulic crosshairs is gonna push you over 100%. And you might say, dude, but I don't have prime mods and all of that. Go pistol gamba. Normal pistol gamba 120%, 66%, and if you go hydraulic crosshairs, You might say, oh, it doesn't show how much. It adds 40.5%. So you're going to 106.5% with these two alone. So all your slugs will be guaranteed crits as long as you aim, down sights, etc. 2.5x critical multiplier, again, above average, quite nice. 1.5 fire rate on this one. Again, the mythos of the weapon is a slow firing, truck hitting weapon. So bear that one in mind. A magazine of 5 and a reload of 2 seconds. That's bad. Anyway you slice it, that's bad. It's a bit on the lengthy side with a small magazine. Noise alarming, Riven Dispo 2 out of 5. I don't understand this. How is it possible that so many players still play with Euphona Prime? As you can see, it's still quite popular. And getting a Riven, which is quote-unquote slottable for this one, will be a challenge unless you're super lucky or you have deep pockets. Status chance. Nana, you're seeing that one right. It's 2.0. It's 2%. It is 2% on the Euphona Prime. In primary fire mode. In secondary though, it gets a whole lot better. So if you're gonna build it for Slug, forget about the 60-60s. One of the disadvantages of the mainline 2020 changes is unfortunately that we don't really use 90 mods anymore on primary and secondary weapons. Honestly, do you use them that often anymore? Because it's pointless. When you have at least like a 7 or an 8% status chance, it's worth to go for the 60s. But not in this case. The damage, on the other hand, like I said, it's a truck. It's a lot of damage, my friends. It's a lot of damage. Take a look at that, all that impact. 292.5 impact, 16 puncture, and 16 slash. Which means what exactly? Take a look at this. You're gonna say, dude, perfect for this one. Nah, it's not. And you can see why it's not, right? Impact status effect. So even though I have a whole lot of impact damage, I do not have impact status chance. So unfortunately, Hemorrhage is not really a good candidate for a Slug build. So bear that one in mind. Again, it may have a lot of impact, but it doesn't have status. So there you go. Buckshot, yeah, well, Buckshot has a lot more status. Take a look, 9% per projectile. And by default, 10 projectiles. Mwah! Beautiful, right? But the crit stats are terrible. 2%. I think somebody was having a laugh when they designed the Euphona. But no, considering when the weapon was released in Warframe, it made a whole lot of sense back then, not a whole lot of sense today. So bear that one in mind. The multiplayer is good, right? So Arcane Avenger, we can work something like that. Fall off between 6 and 12. So you gotta be in 2 meters anyway. Fire rate of 1.5 as before. Multi-shot we talked about. Alarming, same Riven Dispo, same reload, semi-automatic trigger. And the damage, a whopping 880. But this time... this time impact is the lowest at 4.4. So again... Hemorrhage is not a good idea because while you have status chance this time and plenty of it considering it's per projectile, my bad here. 9% per projectile with a base of 10 projectiles without any multi-shot. Unfortunately, impact is the lowest, so you're not gonna get a whole lot of impact procs, which you need for the slash procs. Ba-da-dum, ba-dum, bum. No hemorrhage, essentially. And speaking about no hemorrhage, here's a standard build. Fantastic segue, sorry. And you got Damaged Hornet Strike, multi-shot with barrel diffusion, critical chance and critical damage with pistol gambit, target cracker, and a bit more multi-shot with lethal torrent. Now, lethal torrent in this build is a bit optional considering that the fire rate you're not really gonna get a real benefit out of it, but the 60% multi-shot is still good. And of course, in the weapon Excellus or Plexilus slot, still gonna go with lethal momentum and 40% projectile flight speed. Now, there's 3 ways to build this one. You build it for Slug, you build it for Buckshot, or you try something in between. Why don't we go step by step? We try each of them out and you guys get to choose whatever you prefer. How does that sound? And of course, along the way, we're gonna bump up everything with Prime mods, but as you, or some of you guys should try to understand, not everybody has Prime mods. So initially, we're gonna go with the normal ones. You know what I like? I like a whole lot of damage, so I'm gonna go with Magnum Force this time, and I'm gonna go with the 90 mods, because you know what? I even forgot they bloody existed. Thank you so much, Mainline 2020. And I'm gonna make Corrosive on my weapons, because I like big impact damage on my Corrupted Heavy Goons. This is a way you can go. I'm gonna go with the 90 mods. This is a Slug build. I want to get as much damage as I can. Look at that. Look at all that damage. That is absolutely bloody insane. And we're gonna test it out on Corrupted Heavy Goons, level 120. No build on Excalibur to skew or test results. Now these level 120 corrupted heavy goons can be higher definitely, but I still think it's a good benchmark. They way above sortie free, but not as close to something crazy that you can get in Steel Path. 1, 2, 3, and it's dead, mama, it's dead. Now I can use the secondary fire mode as well, but this is not what the build is for. This build is simply for Slug. If I want something to pack a punch on the first shot, something like this. Look at that. I managed even to juggle him midair. Fantastic, isn't it? It's satisfying to use. Is it a very smart idea? I don't even know anymore what's a smart idea in Warframe, because some of you are gonna start preaching meta, and I still don't recognize a meta. A meta for what? For Eidolon hunting? For Steel Path? For what exactly? What I do know that is solid performance with a normal, average, everyday build with no mods, expensive whatsoever. I mean, Hornet Strike and Magnum Force are a bit heavy on the endo cost, but there you go. Now that's one way you can go, but some of you might be more fans of crit, right? You want to crit all the time, if at all possible. This is not a smart idea, by the way. If you take out the decrease in accuracy, if you don't consider that a factor in your equation for how much damage you can do, this is not a good idea, right? If you do consider it, then this is a good idea. Go with hydraulic crossers for more crit. Quickly another test, and then we're gonna move on to Buckshot builds. Oh, Prime mods. Damn, this is gonna be a 20-minute one. 1, 2, 3. The first shot shouldn't really be counted because I didn't have my crit on, so there you go. Orange crit, showing us that we do have over 100%. There's not a huge difference there, but trust me, mathematically speaking, Magnum Force is the way to go. But again, you might miss some of your shots, so bear that one in mind. Alright, my friends, that's a build for the Slug. We're gonna quickly amp it up with a bit more extra crit chance with Pistol Gambit, like so, and Target Cracker, like so. Of course, it's gonna be a bit better than before, as it should be. I'm trying to show you all the build variations as fast as I can, so I don't take too long. There was that 3 shots? Yeah, free. That's what it takes. 3 slugs and a corrupted heavy goon's head. It really depends on how lucky you get, right? RNGesus and all of that good stuff. 1, 2, 3. You can even get to 2, mathematically speaking, that is. Look at that. What did I tell you? Beautiful, beautiful. And one more really quick with Magnum Force instead of the extra crit, because technically that is a little bit on the better side. Magnum Force, where are you? And instead of hydraulic crossers. Oh no! God damn, I'm not gonna reform one more time. I will not do it. There we go. It really depends on what kind of Riven you got. That Riven polarity really set me back. 1, 2. Almost got him. Now, 2 shots are gonna be a whole lot more consistent with Magnum Force. Okay, so I think this kind of showcases the difference in power between hydraulic crossers and always getting crits and Magnum Force. Again, Magnum Force does have other negatives, so bear that one in mind. Enough with the Slug. This is what the Slug can do. And again, for a raw force approach, I think it's a pretty decent build at the end of the day. Now, if I am to leverage that extra status chance, right, that I get from Buckshot and build the weapon more into Buckshot, of course, I'm gonna go for the 60-60 mods. And the question is, which 60-60 mods? Well, you have a whole lot of slash, you're gonna be proccing slash, so therefore vital. Yay, vital. More vital. There you go. Frostbite and Pistol Pestilence. This is a no-brainer, right? If you're going into any mission outside of Deimos because they are immune to vital, this is a no-brainer. Buckshots. See, I buckshot the crap out of this guy. Girl, it's actually a she. So you got 10 procs with 7 procs. 10 vital procs. That's 2 vital procs. And here's another. And another, look at that, and 2 slashes. It really depends on RNGesus. It's not a very good build. Of course it's not, because it relies on Buckshot. And if you're gonna be this close in this meta, you're just gonna pull out your big melee and just slap him with it. Aren't you? Why wouldn't you? Maybe it's a secondary only sortie. Yeah, right. I know, in that case use Mesa or whatever else. So as you can see, my this build can work. If you want to build into Buckshot, I just don't think it's the smartest idea right now. If I was building the Euphona Prime, I would just enjoy the Slug and forget about the Buckshot. By the way, the Slug can be used successfully in Eidolon hunts. It's actually quite efficient. Try it out, especially if you want to use it with Mirage or whatever else you guys use. Keep in mind that the meta is Volt right now. And also this was with the Prime mod, so bear that one in mind. Alright, I think you get a good idea for base builds. Let's talk about Riven mods. I I never really recommend weapons that require a Riven in order to be good, but Euphona does stand out without a Riven. The third option to building the Euphona is to build something in between, something that can take advantage of both Buckshot and that Slug. To that effect, you can just build with 60-60 mods and forget about the big wallop worth of damage, or do what I did here. As a general idea, never mind the Riven, right? One with the one 60-60 mod and one 90 mod. Again, these are very small tweaks and balances you can do to a build, and these, by all intents and purposes, should 100% be up to you, because they won't make a huge difference in terms of performance. Now my Riven is a loner from a friend because I never have actual good Rivens, not really. Critical chance, multi-shot minus impact. Not enough impact to take it off the proc list, but on the other hand, it was small anyway, so it doesn't really matter all that much. But this being a double positive with a negative, the values are quite decent considering this is only a Dispo 2, my friends, alright? Here's the Dispo right here, only a Dispo 2, and I got a 150% crit chance, which is somewhere in the ballpark of Prime Pistol Gambit, but more than the 120 from the standard Pistol Gambit, so bear that one in mind. I can't really stay and show you guys all the variations of the builds because that will be 30 minutes on a secondary weapon, and let's be honest, you guys are probably already bored, so 1-2 dead! Haha! Come on, it was worth, wasn't it? Take a look at that. And this is a bit of a hybrid between the two. You can go to 90 mods if you love the big wallop worth of damage. Take a look. If I had 290 mods right now, he would have been dead from a single shot. But like this, I can make some nice use out of that secondary fire, right? I can apply some status effects with my secondary. Look at that, 6 corrosives, and then finish him off with a buckshot, because I will be meeting targets which are higher level than this. So bear that one in mind. Going a little bit into balance may prove the winning choice. Now there's still one more thing, which I do want to do, bump up everything with Warframe buffs, and for that we're going to be using the ever so lovely Lady Mirage Prime and her outstanding buffs. And you might say Harrow. Nope, Harrow, we go for Harrow for weapons that have a whole lot of status but don't have crit. That's where Harrow truly shines. Let's go red, yeah, definitely, let's go red, black, and white. I don't think I touched this fashion frame for over a year. When it comes to Warframe buffs, of course, corrosive projection is meta against heavily armored targets, but if you're going against the Corpi that don't have armor, do bear in mind, some Corpus actually have armor underneath their shields. Take a look at the color of their health. If it's orange or yellowish, depending on how you set up your monitor, they have some armor. Either ferrite armor, alloy armor, or whatever else. When it comes to arcanes, keep in mind that these are a lot more impactful than the aura that you choose. So if you feel like going energy siphon or whatever else, just go for whatever is comfortable to you. Arcane precision is definitely a must. You gotta have this one, R5 from the third Eidolon. Down on Cetus on headshot, a 100% chance for a massive 300% damage to pistols for 18 seconds. Keep in mind the high amount of base damage that Euphona Prime has. And of course, the second one, a no-brainer, Arcane Avenger R5. From my humble point of view, the most powerful offensive arcane in Warframe. On damage, you got a 21% chance for plus 45% critical chance for 12 seconds. Keep in mind that this is a bonus additive after effect, so it's simply stacks on top of what you already have, applying to your primary, secondary, and your melee at the exact same time. We can't do any sentinel trick because this is a secondary weapon and the vigilante mods only really apply to primary weapons, so bear that one in mind. Now, level 100 and as much as I can. 55 corrupted heavy goons for the final test. We're gonna be unpausing the AI so they can hit me and I can get my glorious buffs. Activate Mirage's 4 ability, then her outstanding free for an 840% Eclipse buff. That is not a damage increase, 840%. That's how much Eclipse gives you. It's a little bit different. And of course, her ever so lovely clones. God damn, it's a good animation. And before it was almost a one-shot, but now it's a guaranteed one-shot. Even if you... Oh, did you see him fly off into the distance like that? That's from all the power that this... Look at that. Sends him flying backwards like this was some kind of pistolero cowboy movie. And the guy shot him with the head with a big magnum thing and then threw a rock at his head. At the same time. What? That's totally believable. It could happen. And of course, you can use the Buckshot to just blow them away multiple at a time, as you can plainly see. My friends, the Euphona Prime is a beast from another era. This is the era of melee. Thankfully, it will come to an end, hopefully soon. It still packs one hell of a punch. I still find it immensely satisfying from mission to mission, so there's nothing left for me to do but recommend this glorious weapon. And I'm gonna end it with an interesting piece of trivia. Did you notice something when I showed you the Riven? Euphona Prime Critican. Euphona Prime Critican. There's no normal Euphona. I had this question on stream the other day. He asked me, hey, why does it say on your Riven Euphona Prime and not just regular Euphona? For whatever reason, there is no regular Euphona. As always, my name has been Leyzar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. And if you got any sorts of feedback for me, by all means, my friends, drop it in the comment section down below. And if you love the content, hey, consider supporting us via Patreon. Link in the cards right now. But until next time, my friends, bye-bye.